Oh no. We're getting double effects again, aren't we, Andre?
I don't hear anything.
No? Okay. I heard that coming through my speakers.
Oh, what, the sound?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the playing of the episode or the
music?
Oh, okay. Try it again.
All right, we're starting over. No, just kidding.
No, I don't hear any. I didn't hear you play music. I heard some music through your microphone, but not over.
Oh my god, you didn't hear the theme music again?
No. Oh, we're live. Oh shit, I thought we were still. I didn't think we started up again.
Live.
No, the music didn't play.
All right, anyway. Well, can you hear it this time? 1, 2,
yep.
3. Starting over.
Let the celebrations begin!
Something ain't right about this dump.
You can say that again, Wolverine. Anyway, glad we got the technical difficulties out of the way off the beginning.
Is that what you call it?
Yet again. Yeah, I know it was the same problem as last time. I'm not going to do that again.
What the fuck, man? You had all this time to figure it out.
Welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. I am your host.
First time in my life, I am truly happy.
Well, I aim to please, that's for sure. I'm glad I make someone out there happy, especially Storm. And with me is my co-host.
Never allowing myself a life beyond my work.
That's pretty true. Actually, today, the last couple of days, that's been pretty true. I have not allowed myself much of a life beyond my work. I literally get home from work and then work more. So it's been a challenging couple of days. So.
Nailed it.
You did. Good job. You can see the sad, work-worn look in my eyes.
That makes up for the technical difficulties.
That's right. You're really doing it. I did it for you, Dad. I learned it from you.
Exactly. Exactly. But we are your hosts, Daverine and Jubilandre Lee.
Oh man, I used to. It should have been. No, that works. That's fine.
I think you're going to change it to
Jubilee. No, that's right. It has to be right. Jubilandre Lee. Yeah, that's right. Because they can't get jubilation.
It's a pretty good one.
I think it's pretty good. I like it. I think I did. I mean, I think it's better than Daverine.
Yeah, I think it's better than Daverine.
It sounds like an off-brand type of butter substitute.
That was a very last-second entry.
It's all good. It's all good. I know.
Any
port in a storm, my friend. Any port in a storm.
Yeah. Well, Storm. Very apropos. Season 5, Episode 3, Stormfront Part 2, written by friend of the show, Brooks Wachtel, and developed for television.
I thought he only did like 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, this one had his name on it.
All
right. Well, and prepared for television by friend of the show, Eric Lewald. There's lots of friends of this show. You can be a friend of this show, too.
We've been lucky. We've been lucky to have so many wonderful folks, pop in and join us.
Oh yeah, we really have. It's been a fun ride, and there's more to come. We have an interview coming up with voice actor of Nightcrawler, Adrian Huff, next week, where I will ask him if that's how you pronounce his last name,
and he will say, "No, you idiot," and then.
You say, "You fool! I'm out of here. I'm teleporting."
You had one job and you messed it up. He tell you, he just bamps away.
No, he seems like a much nicer guy than our impressions of him. So look forward to that next week, X-Goons.
Excellent.
And then we will be back with the Fifth Horseman, with guest friend of the show, David Cutler. So lots happening.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have Dave back on the show. I miss old Dave. Is that the Jubilee? Is that the Jubilee fairy tale episode?
No. There's a lot of Jubilee in it, but no, it's not that. It's not Jubilee's fairy tale theater.
Well, let's catch up on old times.
What are they up to? What you think they doing up there?
What you think they doing up there? What you doing up there in Truro, Andre?
Oh, sorry, something was playing on my screen. It was actually the episode. I thought you were playing something. Not much. Good. I had last week off, as I think I mentioned when I was on here last week. Back to work today, and it's been a shitstorm of stuff that's just been mounting and giving me no time to breathe or relax at all. So I feel like I'm being crushed.
Excellent. Well,
I wrestle in PEI this Thursday, and
that's fun.
Yeah, we've got.
I wore my only remaining wrestling shirt just for you today.
Ooh, you should buy an Andre Myatt shirt.
I should.
Be repping
Send me one.
Andre Myatt merch as you walk about your day-to-day life. I do have a tank top. It's purple with my little white logo on it. It's pretty fun. So,
Oh, hook me up with one of those.
You're toiling in the fields and you need to show off your bronze muscles in the sun. And
I have an Andre sticker on my guitar.
Right by that X-rated one. Looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Does that not mess up
Does
that not mess you up at all by sticking stuff to your guitar? I was informed that it would you shouldn't put stickers or anything on yours because it'll fuck up the sound.
What, mess up the resonance? Man, no, I don't find that that's very true.
Well, I'm not a guitar expert.
This isn't a high-end guitar anyway. I wouldn't go putting stickers on a $2,000 acoustic or anything like that. But this is not that.
Well, my friend's father was showing off.
This is my sticker beater micro clapper.
My buddy was showing off. My buddy's dad was showing off when I was visiting them in the PEI. His wife got him a Les Paul. Like a super rare. There's only 50 made Les Paul replica or something, or I don't know if it's replica, but it's some crazy electric Les Paul version that was super cool. I can't remember the exact name, but it was beautiful. Beautiful. I was jelly.
Yeah, well, there's so many pretty guitars out there. It does.
There's a lot of pretty guitars out there, but I don't know any of them. I just have that one, which actually is nice. It's fine.
I have some prettier guitars than this one, but maybe my next acoustic I won't sticker up, Andre.
No, I don't care. It's no judgments, buddy. You do you. You enjoy your life.
Well, I'm trying to. It's been I got a house full of sick babies. So
sick babies?
Well, I got 2 babies. Well, one of the tiny baby doesn't seem to be sick.
So the one toddler is sick.
The toddler does sick for sure.
How old's the toddler again? 2?
2.5.
Oh, ancient. Hands of time are withering or once youthful looks.
They are as go ours as well.
What do you mean? I've looked just as handsome as I did the day I was born. Exactly, I'm a vampire.
I'm talking about me and the X-goons. The X-goons and I are aging right along with the Earth. But you, Andre, beautiful.
Well, I'll be here to carry on the X-Men legacy long after your times are over.
So. Thanks. Keep it going. Keep this torch burning, Andre.
That's right.
It's the eternal flame.
Just like the opening to Survivor, just on the mountain with the big torch, X-Men.
X-Men.
Even after it's been
yelling from the mountain.
Society has crumbled. I'm just the sole living being, human entity on Earth, just wandering, hanging out with the animals, and telling them about X-Men, old X-Men episodes.
Well, even if this...
You see, Mr. Elephant, there was this really terrible Morlock Christmas episode that we hated just a lot. But, Dave liked it, so...
he loves it. He watches it every year.
Yeah, it's fucking atrocious.
You just don't have any Christmas spirit, Andre.
No, I love Christmas. I deeply love Christmas. That episode was not good. No bueno.
Well, we might have to play it again this Christmas. So
Heavens no. I cannot handle that. I'm sure there's some other X-Men themed Christmas thing we could do.
Maybe. If society does happen to crumble before time withers me away, our podcasting will be just yelling from the mountaintops, really.
Could be.
So that'll be what podcasting is.
I feel like hanging out and waxing nostalgia. I feel like hanging out and waxing nostalgia about an old X-Men cartoon might not be a very important part of the future society.
People will need a respite from the harsh world.
Well, I feel like they could read books. The books would still be around.
Books can keep fires burning, Andre.
Listen,
There's
you.
not going to be any
There would
books.
be no burning. There's wood, all around.
Your
us. You can
collection's
burn
going to
them.
be, people are going to be raiding your house for your wonderful kindling
I'll
collection.
kill them all. They'll all die horribly
Well.
in my hand.
Oh,
All right. This episode,
might,
I
you
feel I
might.
could describe in like 3 sentences. I'm pretty sure I don't need to do the whole. We don't need to do the whole synopsis for this episode.
we'll do it fast.
No, it's not
you're
even that
right.
I need to speed through, but not like it's very fast.
Well, it's like, look, this isn't the strongest two-parter. This is
Oh
probably
God,
the
no!
least
This
strong
could have
two-parter.
been made. Well, no, I guess if you had to like shoehorn in a love story, maybe it's to do it on one episode might have been a bit much. But
Yeah.
maybe.
But
it's
like they've
because-
got Gambit and Rogue, they've got Scott and Jean. Did we really need Storm and Arkon of all people?
well, even just briefly, but like maybe it's because
And he's horrible. Like he's
Oh,
never
he's a-
once endearing.
He's a real
I mean, he
monster.
butters her up, butters her toast, but
Well, that sounds
pretty horrible in front of everyone else. What?
The
Yeah, see, look, rewritten by a friend of the show.
See,
Book
the
club.
thing is, I think that would have made this episode better. And maybe I'll save this for next point. That's fine. I mean, maybe it's because of modern day, extended storytelling. We don't get like episodic episodes so much anymore. We get season long arcs, that go through every episode.
I miss those days.
That the monster of the week kind of thing isn't quite so common. But if they had thrown Arkon in earlier in the series, we saw him set up his people, maybe he seemed kind of like, a little nefarious, but still kind of okay. And we visited it later and into this thing with Storm. That might have it would have felt a little more organic than just like shoehorning this guy out of nowhere that we just met and then making Storm instantly fall in love with him. It's very strange. Very strange. Indeed.
She likes abs.
I guess so. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's purely physical for her.
It has to be.
But
It pretty much has to be.
I suppose. So we see the X-Men arguing about
Not
how
bad pecs either.
Storm's rushing into this. Before that, we do see some of the workers toiling away and them dropping some stonework they're carrying. It kind of looks like a tomb, actually, but while doing so, they incur the wrath of those robots. Remind me about those robots as one of my X-points because they remind me of something I want to bring up later.
Storm's
So
acceptance of this marriage proposal seems
Jesus, I'm not
unnaturally
even talking
sudden.
about that. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fucking robot. What are you playing that for? Jesus
That's what I thought it
Christ.
was.
No, I'm not talking about unnatural stuff with robots. I'm talking about the robots. One of the people that, seen that guy there was just carrying along his stonework, dropped by accident. All of a sudden, the robot ascended upon him, and he's like, and this is the first inkling we get that maybe things are rotten in the state of Denmark, because, we're led to believe this is some kind of happy utopia, but we're seeing that the cracks in the foundations, if you will.
God,
So,
everything comes back to Denmark with you, doesn't it, Andre?
Well, it's all about Shakespeare. You
It's
see.
an obsession. It's an obsession,
Well,
I say.
It's more just a Shakespeare reference to flex how intelligent I am, as Beast often does, like that quote you just played. See, I brought it full circle. Full circle.
Mhm. Well
So,
done. Well done.
Wolverine's upset, thinks Storm's rushing into this. Cyclops is like, who are we to stand in her way? Wolverine says, we're friends. Beast says that he kind of agrees with Cyclops. If this is what Storm wants, it's what she wants. But the X-Men are trying to be somewhat supportive. Storm says that was ever since she was a teenager, she never got really to make her own decisions because she became an X-Men. And all the X-Men kind of agree that this is her decision and they're going to stand by her for it, although Wolverine is not happy.
He's not happy because he's often so very happy in this show.
Yeah, he's pretty grumpy.
Oh, there's Beast, isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's a nice moment. So Jubilee's all in. She's going to plan the big bachelorette party and the wedding and all this stuff. Well, we see them building the statue to Storm to go along with the one for Arkon there.
Do you think she fell for him because she controls lightning and he has lightning spears, lightning swords, lightning
that
weaponry?
Seems
She's like, ooh,
pretty,
lightning guy.
Seems pretty vague. But then we
Well,
see
all I
Arkon
got.
talking to like his subordinate who kind of looks like Odin. in which
He
they,
does. I think I got him. There he was. Yeah,
so
there he is.
Arkon has brought forward information by this nerd here with a tablet that
You have analyzed my decision and found my logic wanting.
that was before when Beast was questioning how
Now I'm
quickly they
behind.
fell into love.
I'll
It's
get
okay.
there. I'll get there. What about this one?
America's destiny will not be stopped by a scrap of paper.
It's not even paper. It was a tablet.
Or tablets.
So he's upset because one of his lackeys there told him that they discovered all the issues with the plane. It could have been fixed, so they just turned off the purple thing that Storm drew attention to before. He says that they need that basically to keep. This is where we discover that he's not a nice guy at all. He needs it to keep control over all the slaves. This is the
Lots of those on
this is
Palemachus.
the standard 1990s cartoon fare in which we learn that slavery is wrong. It's usually we get a slavery episode. We often get a gun episode. I mean, Gargoyles did a great one. I believe the Turtles had one maybe as well with a loose handgun from the streets. There's usually a racist episode, but since this is the X-Men, they're all kind of racist episodes. You get your Will Smith episode.
Racism episodes, not racist episodes. There
are racists in the episode, which is why. I mean, we draw attention to some racists. I mean, many of our favorite sitcoms as kids were centered around black families, and every once in a while they would do an episode about how racism exists in their world, which was important, I think. They did the gun episode. Will Smith got shot. Gargoyles did the gun episode too.
There's a legendary Family Matters episode where Eddie got beat up by the cops.
Yep, and the one where
Carl's a cop, so he had to go confront his.
Oh yeah,
cops.
I remember that one. I kind of forgot they did
intense.
that one. That was a good one. The
intense.
one where Will and Carlton got put in jail for driving too slow because they were black driving a nice car was a good one too. Where Uncle Phil had to come bail him out. So there's all that that sort of thing. But this is the one where we learned about how slavery's bad. So Arkon basically goes on a diatribe here about how the world was. Do you have this?
Please do not report me. It shall not happen again. Forgive me.
Hey, it was my fault.
Does that sound like Arkon, Dave Davan to you?
No, I just said that line about paper.
Basically, yeah, we discovered that Palemachus are the labor is being done by laborers, which are from another area that they used to war with, but now the Palemachus are in charge and using this power to use them as their former enemies as slaves, which is how Arkon rationalizes being able to do so. That comes up a little later.
Bergania. The Berganians.
Yeah, and Arkon has no mercy for them, so he's obviously some kind of a despot, really.
Yeah.
Or at least some kind of what's the word where you're like
the owner of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of slaves?
Well, that's Benjamin Franklin. But if you wanted to talk about, then there's like a word when you're like country first. If you have that mentality.
Patriotism?
No, I mean that's a nice way to put it. But it's like it's like the idea. Like there's a term for it where you're a statesman or something. That's not it, but it's something like that where it's like you believe your people. The benefit of your people over everybody else. So you don't have a certain allegiance to the human race just for Canadians.
Nationalist?
Yes, that's the word. That's the word I couldn't think of, a nationalist. Okay. So yes, he seems very like a nationalist in this sort of endeavor.
Oh yeah, he definitely does. He's like Doom in that way. Like he gives off a bunch of Doom vibes, but if Doom was horrible to his people, which he isn't. But
Doom's not great. I've been to the Latvian embassy, and there are a lot of scary-looking robots around that just chanted affirmations about Doom all the time. I'm serious. Doom. I was there.
Where was that now?
Universal Studios Orlando.
Oh, nice.
It's part of the Fantastic Four.
Doom loves you.
Yeah,
thank Doom for this beautiful day.
Similar, yes. So we see Jubilee and Storm playing around with some designs for the wedding. They tumble over in a fun little way, and one of the slave girls gets one of the servant girls gets sort of knocked over, they say their story and try to help her, and she basically pleads for them for their forgiveness, and seems very scared, like she could be hurt at any minute. So this is where we're getting some more inklings of what's going on here, which is Then we see Storm's statue being raised and all the stuff happen. Oh, yeah, that's
pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they're all cleaning up the statues.
Another worker. Scary robots.
Yeah. Basically, Wolverine tries to talk to one of them, which distracts him, and then when he's distracted, the robot punches him by...
We're buddies of your new queen. Know where a guy can get a burger and fries round here?
Please.
Yeah, he's just getting directions. I just gave them up. I just want some directions to a burger and fries joint. If he just answered him, or they let him answer him, they would have got away with it probably, or at least lasted a little longer. So, his hand gets on his right.
Sounds like Morph.
Kinda. So Cyclops has a good line saying how they might be some local slime they need to sniff out before their visit is over.
That was a good one, yeah.
So they see some ships leaving, and Cyclops says, well, maybe they look like they're of a military nature, and Cyclops says that perhaps they're, of some other stuff. And Wolverine says, you spend enough time in space to know what warbirds look like. Or birds of prey.
No.
Little Romulan
Jubilee
reference.
Giving it the nasty the side eye there.
That's a pretty good side eye.
Yeah.
So Wolverine and them try to investigate and see what's going on. They're being watched by...
The task is enormous.
And we shall face it together.
So this is where they're watching all the ships take off, and then Arkon says that they're all going to Belgania, their nearest ally in space, which in truth is their, subversive planet that they're taking slaves off of and stealing resources.
He could be telling the truth about how they used to be enslaved by the Berganians, but that still doesn't justify anything. He might not be bullshitting, but who knows?
Well, that's true.
He's just always so surprised. Like, he's so open about his, horrible behavior, and he's just, surprised by the reactions by it. It's actually kind of
that everybody would think that it's negative, right?
Yeah.
So, the X-Men...
How dare you not kneel in my presence?
Yeah, if you're trying to appear to be an altruistic ruler, some servant girl comes by and she doesn't. I don't know if she didn't notice.
Just walks in. No, she just walks in to bring him the thing he wants.
Kneel, and someone's gonna strike her in front of his fiance in Jubilee.
He shocks her. He hits that button.
Yeah, he does. Which is funny and sad. I mean, look at the size of the dude. He's got a shocker.
Oh my God, Andre!
What?
I guess the show is called X-rated.
No. I don't mean it like that. I just mean he's it's almost like the foppish, not saying that what that would be called for. What I'm saying is that a guy like him who looks like this sort of military leader is like, oh no, you haven't done what you're supposed to. I'm going to shock you, and it's such a disconnected way to punish somebody. Yeah, it's like overkill, but it's also it's not. I don't know. It's impersonal. It just seems strange to me.
Oh, yeah. I guess they didn't want to show him backhand some girl on this cartoon.
Fair enough. Jeez. But if this were a Sam Peckinpah movie, some horrible shit.
But look, it will help Andre's enjoyment. A nice backhand.
Not at all.
So we can get that in there.
I would enjoy it. It just seems more on brand for this particular character.
It's true. He's awful.
So our X-Men stow aboard some of those leaving ships and go see what's going on with the ships that are heading to the other place. And if you view basically a war going on.
The sight of you. Fear's so thick around here you could rollerblade on it.
I like that line.
There's that seminal 90s kid lines we need to reference videotape, CDs, rollerblading, the mall.
Definitely got rollerblades were awesome.
I mean, they're still around. They're not dead. They didn't stop making rollerblades.
People stopped using them.
You could use them. Nobody's stopping you. Barbie movie featured rollerblades rather heavily. Several characters wear rollerblades for a good extended period of time.
So does Hackers.
The movie Hackers?
Yes, lots of
The one you
rollerblades.
talked about in your other podcast.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we did talk about hackers.
Sure did. So basically, the other X-Men stumble in on a war, which is happening quietly between the Arkon's planet and this one whose name I already forgot.
Regania.
Regania and Polyhemus, is that it?
Palemachus. Polyhemus is funny.
Pretty close. I feel like it's the name of something. Polyhemus.
Please, you are new to Palemachus.
That's what he always says too. He'll just do something horrible. They'll be like, "What are you doing?" He's just like, "You are new here. You don't understand, our
how
ways.
it works.
We shock servant girls and take slaves. What is your problem? Like, I don't go to your place and like put my feet up on the couch, do I? Like, come on."
So the X-Men join in on who they believe to be the lessers in this action with the locals against the robots. They get into a bit of a scuffle. Beast gets struck by a beam, gets hurt. They get taken off to the I want to say the rebels. They seem like a rebel group. The Resistance, if you will, taken off to their headquarters where they meet their
leader. They have
leader.
a name for themselves? I think they just call themselves the Resistance.
Yeah, they meet their leader, who I believe is Melkor. Is that what you said his name was?
I guess this means we're not invited to the bachelor party.
This is the bachelor party.
So where they're told that Arkon has his transmitter, which is allowing him to keep these people enslaved, and he's building an even bigger one to extend the reach of his power.
But he said his
Mentor.
name.
Isn't he one of the elders of the universe?
Oh man, I get an X-point about that.
Well, obviously they're different people. They're the same name, but okay. So basically they learn that Arkon's a dick and he's enslaving all these people.
Such a dick. Fucking Dickosaurus. Am I right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Pretty big.
Wolverine, any more guards?
Not unless you want to start putting them back together.
Oh man, I love that line.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we see them getting ready to have the feast before the wedding. None of the other X-Men are there, and Storm's down about it, thinking they don't want to be there. Arkon, of course, is being high and mighty and making a toast to his loyal subjects, to Storm, all this sort of stuff. But then her friends, the rest of the X-Men, show up to tell her the truth about Arkon. He kind of defends his actions, saying that these guys enslaved them before, and this is merely reactionary. It's their turn to be under his heel. Regardless, Storm obviously feels strongly against slaves, being from Africa and also being a woman of color, and even just
and being a good person.
General. Which means you shouldn't care about you shouldn't. But Arkon thinks that he's due this, and Storm says that that it's wrong, regardless of whatever brought you to this position. Owning people is horrible, regardless. Arkon doesn't see how this is. She's even more.
You don't understand our way. You're new here. Like, you guys are so new here.
She doesn't understand how
ambivalent about the true function of the pain receptors of the human nervous system.
That was a classic line from Beast. Doesn't like all those pain receptors.
Yeah, fair enough.
Our guests rescued most of the slaves before we could apprehend them.
This is intolerable.
Yeah. This is before the X-Men get back, when Arkon's finding out that they were, freeing the slaves. So Arkon runs off, gets his robots, which all come to attack the X-Men. There's a big fight that takes place. Wolverine is a good fight with Arkon. But as the fight's going on, Storm lets her powers go crazy. Is going to tear down Arkon's kingdom. She's so upset with him for the monster he truly is.
Upset the Weather Witch.
Jubilee speaks out to her and tells her that this isn't right. Like, destroying everything is only going to hurt innocent people. So she uses her powers to destroy the train.
Love of our people.
I love that line to her a little bit earlier. Sorry? Storm, will you stand and acknowledge the love of our people?
The love of our people. So she destroys the transmitter. Arkon begs her to stay with him. She says, has a good line about here. You probably have.
Could it be? I might not. No.
What? It's like the best one.
Ask him how he recruits the palace help. It ain't the one-ed, baby.
They are not servants, are they? They are slaves.
What of it?
What of it?
What of it?
No.
He's just so like they're slaves. What of it?
He just doesn't understand their problem. He's like,
He really doesn't get it. That's hilarious. So basically, he pleads for her to stay, saying that she'll be hunted as a freak in her old world, and that in this one she'd be a queen and god essentially. And she's like, nope.
She's like, I already was that back there. I could go back to doing that back there. Like I could still go back.
She's like, goodbye, and then she's gone.
Yeah. And they knock
Next
over
to their home.
Arkon statue.
You see Arkon. Yeah, Arkon. It's very, very. I'll say that for a point. Anyway.
A royal wedding gift.
Yeah.
From the heart.
To the ships! To the ships!
To the ships!
Yeah, I like that last. Oh! At the end of the episode.
Yeah,
So
that was
good.
pretty great. All right, but that's the episode.
Terrible two-parter.
All right.
This is by far one of the
Well,
worst
it was a
two-parters.
terrible two-parter, but let's talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I want to forget
We're
it.
going to talk about it. We're going to rate it. What do we do here? It's called X-rated.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Decide. Okay, I'll go first. So, it is better than the last one. And I'm not just saying that because friend of the show, Brooks Wachtel, wrote it, but it is. So, as a two-parter, the two-parter's still a 6, which I gave the last episode. But this episode on its own is a 7. It's better than the last one. It had some funny moments.
I gave the last one a 4.
Yeah.
Since this one is marginally better than that one, I will give it a 5.
All right, we're moving up.
Some fun actions and some good
Ended
quotes in it, but it's still not great. Like, that's like a 50%. That's not even. It's
not the two-parter, but that's what it's just. This is what we're hearing about season 5. This is what we were expecting. We were expecting the quality to go down a bit now in the animation, but apparently in the story too, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see what's happening. The next one, Dave Cutler was excited to join us for, so maybe it has some merit. Whoops. Wrong theme. That'll confuse the X. Uncanny X-points. All right, why don't you go first, Andre?
I believe this whole episode is it includes a salient point, and in some way acts as an allegory towards capitalism. As you see, we have a society that justifies keeping the people on the bottom bridges of society where they are. Will certainly make no effort to help them rise above it because they feel they don't deserve it or they haven't.
Are you calling Arkon a 1%er?
100%. 100% he's a 1%er.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Basically, yeah, I know. I mean, that's obviously a very flamboyant way to prove the point, but there is a little bit. And Brooks seems like a
look. If Elon Musk could, he'd shock you and everyone you care about, Andre.
Wachtel seems like a rather socially conscious writer, and I feel as though he slides themes into his work. So I could see this being one of them, somewhat. To point out that the inequality between the class system here.
Oh, top tier ex-goon Ryan says the man with the fake name, Jakopowski. Your last name is onomatopoeia, man. I love it. It's just like a comic book action word, Jablonski. The animation is about to take a dive, but there are some fun stories coming. Yeah, there seems to be. There's that whole Captain America Wolverine back in World War II thing. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's only a couple episodes away.
Yeah. All right. Well, my X points. All right. Well, first I'm just gonna get something off my chest. I really needed there to be mind control or something at play here. Storm falling for this guy without mind control was a betrayal of her character somewhat. More than somewhat. I'm just going to say it. I love the show and everything, but this was a bit of a betrayal of Storm and her common sense. And just, man, she's the most shrewd and capable of the X-Men. She doesn't fall for this kind of horseshit. Oh, man.
I know you have strong feelings
my
for
ex-point
Storm.
was
Sorry,
just
they did her dirty in this episode.
They did do her dirty in a whole two-parter. They could have turned that great episode where she went back to Africa and saved her nephew into a two-parter instead. But oh well. Back to you.
Back to me. Okay. Well, the end of this episode with the broken statue of Arkon and sort of his whole kingdom kind of being torn down around him. When he was so high, but now he's brought so low. Made me think of the poem by Byron Shelley, Ozymandias, by Percy Shelley. Sorry.
All right, let's hear it, Beast.
You know this poem, don't you? It's like very famous.
Of course I do. Yeah. But
it's
like a lyric or two.
I could. It's not very long, but
no, it's not.
It was referenced rather famously in Breaking Bad and a few other things. Oh, and Walking Dead. Oh no, sorry, and the Watchmen.
Mm.
Sort of about a kingdom fallen. After a ruler, everyone thinks that their kingdom, their rule, their everything's going to last forever, but it doesn't. It never does. We're all just dust in the wind, Evan.
We are all.
All we are is dust in the wind.
Is dust in the wind.
Dust. You could. You're my boy, Blue.
But we're not in Kansas anymore, Andre. We're at the X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. And my next X-point is going to be a plug, actually, for writer of this episode and friend of the show, Brooks Walk. Tell everybody, check out, this is a better offering of what his writing skills can do.
Have you read it?
This episode was not, I've started it. I'm a slow reader, but it's good. Yeah.
I'm a pretty fast reader, but I just haven't got around.
I love that audiobooks became a thing and so plentiful because I can get through so many more books that way.
Mm-hmm. Good. I got a few. I just got new ones that I haven't got a chance to listen to yet. But
I just ended up I don't know, it's because my memory sucks. I just end up reading every paragraph twice, so it takes at least a lot of the time. So it takes me a while. I don't know why.
Well, you have lots of avenues to do your thing.
So check it out, Lady Sherlock, Circle of the Smiling Dead, by friend of the show, Brooks Arthur Wachtel. And check out our interview with Brooks. It was fun talk.
You're using one of your X-points to plug a book?
Yes.
And a previous episode?
Yes.
Where is our
the connections? He wrote this episode. This is a very salient
connection. I just think, some decorum, sir. I mean, we set this all up for a reason. We have institutions here. Traditions.
Do we?
You must follow.
Oh, I've come up with way off the
You're the one who came up with the format. Why do we have to do 5 points?
Because there's X points. X means 10 in Roman
numerals. All right, well,
numerals.
This episode came out on November 9th, 1996, which means it was the last episode before Remembrance Day here in Canada. And I feel like it's kind of funny that there's
You just gave me shit for my point, and you're
I
it
brought
was
this up.
Remembrance Day in Canada in this game?
What? Because it's about war. They're at war with a fascist dictatorship. It seems rather salient, does it not?
Who's at war?
Yeah, the people from the bee named planet against the Polyhemus planet. There was a war.
Yeah, I guess so. There's an uprising.
They're using robots, jackbooted robot thugs to enforce their laws, very similar to the Nazis, the SS. I mean, I think this is a rather salient point. It works.
All right, fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Rollerblades.
Oh God.
When was the first time you got rollerblades back in the 90s?
Oh, probably some relative gave me theirs that didn't fit them anymore or something.
Was it before or after you first got devil sticks?
Probably after.
Do you remember those? You
definitely that I did. They might still be Mom and Dad's house.
Yeah, man.
My
90s thing
came before the devil sticks. Those around then.
Yes.
Put in the shelf with the Bop It and the moon shoes and the.
I remember when I first got rollerblades, it was kind of a letdown. Movies made them look so much faster and cooler. I'm like, this is a lot of work, actually.
You really need like a basement floor type thing.
Yeah.
Like using concrete isn't very good. It's all pebbly.
And I grew up in the country too, where it's not.
So did I. I was on a dirt road, so
it's you're like when you're like on your rollerblades, you're like vibrating. Yeah.
I grew up in the country where I lived on a dirt road, so I couldn't use rollerblades. So they're not good. Get rock stuck in there.
Ugh, the worst. All right, back to you. We were talking about rollerblades for my X-point.
The robots that Arkon uses to sort of prop up his fascist regime here look very similar to the robots from a couple things. One of them being Reboot. Do you remember?
That's it. Yeah. Yes, they look like Hack and Slash. I couldn't place it, but that's exactly what I was.
They very much look like Hack and Slash, callback. Who I feel might be a nod to the robot from the little-known live-action Disney film from the 1980s, maybe 70s, The Black Hole.
Oh, The Black Hole.
The robot in that looks very similar to these robots as well.
I saw that for the first time like earlier this year or last year.
I watched first time a couple years ago. A friend of mine wanted me to watch it. It was an incredibly dark movie for a Disney movie. Also, fun trivia fact, the bad guy in that movie, he has all these medals on his coat. One of them is the Order of Canada. He's Canadian.
Does he actually have an Order of Canada?
Oh, the actor, I don't know, but the character in the movie does have an Order of Canada. So,
whose Order of Canada did they steal?
It could be his own. He might have been. He was some kind of a military hero.
Who directed it? Does the director have an Order of Canada? We have to solve this Order of Canada issue.
I believe Canadians are in it, so it might have been a Canadian production, so that's possible.
Oh, well, they give us all an Order of Canada eventually. I think Andre and I's are actually in the mail.
I'm waiting any day now. One of my 1979, The Black Hole came out. One of my favorite movies growing up was by a Wayne and Schuster movie. That's a Canadian reference for most Canadians here. That was played on CBC TV all the time, called Once Upon a Giant. And it was kind of a parody of old nursery rhymes, like Mother Goose nursery rhymes. And it's about the court jester and the court doctor, played by Wayne and Schuster, who are trying to help out the princess of the kingdom marry the prince she wants to marry, who's the poorest prince in the land. Their parents wanted her to marry the evil Prince Malocchio, which is his name, because he's rich. But she wants to marry the poor prince, and they try to help him capture a giant to get reward money to be able to earn the hand of the princess in marriage. But there's a line where they run into a hermit called McDermott the Hermit. And when they're talking to him, one of them grabs him and says, "Don't you understand how important this is?" And he goes, "Please, you're bending my Order of Canada." And then he's like, "Oh, sorry." And he lets him go. For some reason, it always makes me think of that. Anyway, that movie is great. I don't know where you can watch it. I should upload it to YouTube because I tried to find it years ago. I had it taped off TV and I watched it all the time as a kid. And but I couldn't find it anywhere. And then on IMDb, somewhere deep in the comments, a guy said he had it on DVD and would send you one for $10 for shipping. I did, and he sent it to me. So now I have a copy on a burned DVD.
Sweet.
But it's great. It's still great. And the version I had taped had a bunch of tracking issues at one point, so I couldn't see like a minute of the movie. But when I got the DVD, it's not there, so it's all fixed. So I should put it up on YouTube.
Do it.
I even emailed CBC to see if they could get it for me, but they did not answer my call.
CBC are stressed out. They're a stressed out organization. They have more to think about.
I would have been nice outreach for,
Oh, I agree. They're supposed to do it. I mean, they're a publicly funded company, so.
Well, yes. But, you're starting to sound a little red there, Davan. A little right wing.
What? I got nothing against the CBC. I love the CBC. The only radio stations that ever make it onto my truck radio is CBC and Radio Canada.
Oh, that's nice of you.
So I don't watch much CBC television or anything, but like CBC radio, gets hours a day from me. So
yeah,
they get my tax dollars.
I listen under the influence on there quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should say I listen to CBC Radio 1, CBC Radio 2, and Radio Canada. But so, yeah, man, they can take my tax dollars. Sound a little.
Yes, sir.
Conservative.
Oh, the movie is on YouTube. Here. You can watch the entire Wayne and Schuster movie on YouTube.
I'm gonna move if Pierre Poilievre wins the election. But anyway,
where are you gonna go to?
I don't know, man. Where do you think he doesn't go?
Anywhere with brown people?
You're right. That's where I'm going. I'm moving to Jamaica.
Good. I'll come with you.
All right. Sweet.
Anyway, good news, people. The Once Upon a Giant movie is available on YouTube. So go watch that.
Yeah.
Now we're 16 minutes long, too.
My next X point is Mentor. Has to be the most reused name for characters, at least in Marvel. There's not just the two we've thought of already, but there's Mentor, the Shi'ar character as well. So there's 3, and I know there's more. Like Mentor, it pops up in comics and stuff all the time. I'm like, Mentor again? Yeah, fine. But yeah, that's a popular one. I can't think of a name that gets reused as often as that one.
Interesting. Yeah, my last point is feels like the closing of an era here with the X-Men podcast as we're nearing the end of the season. But it's also like one of those. I feel like this. I feel like we've talked about it, teased it, said how the dip in quality is coming. We all know it. Anybody that knows the series knows we hit season 5. It all heads downhill pretty fast. This episode, the last one in this one, if they are indicators of what to expect for the rest of the season, yes, it is a grim reminder of the horrors yet to come, because they are not good episodes. They feel rushed. They feel, shoddily. The first 2 ones with
that was great.
Yeah, the Phalanx ones are great.
Favorite 2-parter almost.
Yeah, for sure. It was pretty great. But this one really feels like we're taking a step down a dark path, and I'm not looking forward.
And maybe that's why it felt like such a drastic drop off too. Like if Stormfront was like surrounded by a couple other like middling episodes, like 7s or 8s from us or something, it might not have been so noticeable. But we gave 2 episodes in a row 10s, and then this started. It's like, ooh, that's drastic. But it's like ripping off a Band-Aid that you just put on. Very sticky. Very sticky.
Very sticky.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my 5th point.
All right. Well, my 5th point is, what do they think they're doing up there? No, I just wanted to say that. Storm. Well, you know what's even okay? Here's my last next point. Even the title of this episode is lazy, in my opinion. I feel like because
Stormfront doesn't do it
named
for you?
Storm, they were eventually going to call an episode Stormfront or Storm Chaser or one of the more commonly used terms with the word storm in it. It's like the Ice to Meet You of X-Men titles.
Of course.
Yeah.
Storms are coming, Stormfront, Storm
Yeah.
Chasers, Storm Warning,
Storm Warning. Oh, I can't believe they didn't call one Storm Warning. Maybe that'll be
there's still time.
Series. Yeah. But
you think we'll see Arkon again in the new series? Think they'll dust him off? No,
I have more faith in Bo DeMaio than that. Unless he's doing it to like dunk on him. If he wants to like dunk on Arkon for like a 5 minute 5 minutes of an episode, then do it.
The Arkon dunking.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it right into the paint with Arkon.
Right.
Like they just like go to Palemachus, call him a loser, and then leave or something. Or like they go to Palemachus and he's just like a guy selling like fruit on the street instead of being the king or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll happen. No.
You don't think so? I'd be quite surprised if Arkon made an appearance.
Me too. I think it was probably a mistake. It was just a weirdly reconstructed Avengers storyline.
So is Arkon a villain in the original Avengers storyline?
Yeah.
I thought he was always kind of a good guy.
No, just like that. Okay, that was going to be one of my X-points too that I didn't get to. Is like I kind of feel bad for liking Arkon in the Weird World story. Because like there's no context to him in that. He's just dropped into the middle of Weird World and he's this guy who looks kind of cool with his lightning gear and stuff. And like he's just trying to survive and figure out where he is. So it's like kind of relatable. But no, he's not a nice guy. I didn't read the Avengers stuff, so I didn't realize that. And like this kind of episode had been lost to me. Yeah, so I kind of felt bad for liking Arkon because he's not a nice fella.
Hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. It's our comic reminiscences and recommendations. And this one I may have actually mentioned before on the show. We might get the odd repeat, but it's a good love story with Storm. It's Life Death, a love story. It's Uncanny X-Men number 186. It's very reminiscent of a Star Trek Voyager episode, actually. I mean, it came out before that Voyager episode, but there's a Voyager episode where Chakotay and Janeway crash on a planet. And for all they know, like a ton of time passes, and the ship hasn't rescued them. So for all they know, they're stuck there forever, and they just have to like go about their life, and then like decide we're the only ones on this planet. Do we like do embrace some sort of romantic thing that may or may not have always been there anyway? And that's sort of what this is. They're stuck on like a paradise planet to themselves, and they sort of have the same sort of thing. It's like, let's fall in love. We're the only people, and I like this couple, Forge and Storm, way better than Forge and Arkon, or Forge and Black Panther. Even I prefer her with Forge. Or Wolverine.
You mean Storm and Arkon and Storm and Black Panther?
What did I say?
You said Forge and Arkon and Forge and Black Panther. Some great relationships.
I like Forge and Black Panther better, actually. They're both techies.
Could work.
But no, yes, I meant Storm. And Black Panther and Wolverine, no, they wouldn't work out. And then there's also Life, Death 2, which
Electric
is
Boogaloo.
different. Like, read these just for the Barry Windsor Smith art. Like, the inside's all Barry Windsor Smith, too. This is gorgeous stuff. Life, Death 2 is kind of the... Like, maybe I brought it up during that episode, but it ties to the episode from season 3, was it? Where she goes back to Africa and with her nephew Mijnari and that sort of thing. That's this, like, where like the woman has the baby and she had saved her and names the kid Mijnari after somebody Storm knew that had helped her, and then gets called her, like, you know, god aunt or whatever. So that's that story. Life, Death 2. Life, Death 1 and Life, Death 2. Check those out. What you got for us, Andre?
Well, sir, I don't think I suggested this before, and if I did, I apologize. It's been a long 5 seasons. This is one of my favorite comic books. Speaking about being isolated in a world that doesn't quite understand and thinks you're a freak or mutant or not quite the way you should be. It's Charles Burns, who's a comic artist and writer I have a lot of respect for. Did this series called Black Hole. Because Black Hole is like a theme.
Disney's Black Hole?
Yeah. In which, it got, so it says the best graphic novel of the year, one of the most stunning graphic novels yet published by Time magazine said that. So there's got a lot of great reviews. It's by Charles Burns, Seattle-based cartoonist who has a beautiful and distinct art style with a lot of, unique sort of, he plays with, it's all black and white and stuff, but he has some really cool stuff with the medium. Hey, Lebowski. You can see his artwork here. But yeah, it's
nice. But I gotta tell you the one thing: the colorist in that book sucks.
Yeah,
he's lazy.
The colorist did a great job.
Yeah.
But this is about basically an STD that makes turns you into a mutant when you get it. You start growing extra appendages and looking different. It's about a group of teenagers dealing with this, and it's kind of like a Black Mirror episode, but this is long before Black Mirror came out. It's very, very good.
It follows, but instead of following you, it mutates you.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, and then creates you into something new entirely. And there's like people that run off to live together in the woods because of their new mutations, and then there's some other connections too. It's all about sexual awakening with teenagers, and there's some of the mutants there in the back.
Does he have horns or like antenna?
Looks like antenna of some kind. But yeah, beautiful little book, cool story with a lot to say, and highly suggested.
All right, very good, very good. And now, pick up your remote, Andre.
You don't like the movie? Change the channel.
Did your remote take you to the newest episode of Hold Up yet?
Halfway through it.
You angry yet? I got angry. I got very heated.
I don't think you guys got to a point where you got that angry at each other yet. I know you mentioned at the beginning you thought you would, but I'm only halfway through. What was the first movie?
It gets there.
What was the first
movie? It goes
movie?
an hour longer than I suspect. The first movie was Quest for Fire. We all liked that one.
Yeah, that was fine. But then I'm getting into the second one, which is what again?
Man from Earth.
Okay, just started that one, I think. So,
have you ever seen that movie?
No, I don't know anything about it actually.
Oh my God! See, it's funny how many people don't. People either know that movie and love it, or have never heard of it. I find, but yeah, that's a top 10 movie for me.
Really?
Murphy's not going to be kind, and Adam's on my side, so it's basically us throwing boots at Murphy.
Based on what I've seen in the previous episodes, I'm going to guess that Murphy liked 65.
This is more than me and Adam, that's for sure.
I've heard it was all right, actually. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
But it was. Don't waste your time. Really don't. It's like a nothing burger of all nothing burgers.
You guys say that a lot about a lot of things that I feel like are deeper than the analysis you guys give.
There's nothing deep in this movie. There's nothing to get. It's like the B plot of a bad Star Trek episode. It's like the away team crashes on a planet and then they get off the planet at the end.
But this guy, I assume, doesn't get off the planet at the end. Because he's obvious. No, but it's obvious in watching the trailer when you realize what it's about, that this guy would be the basis of humanity because he's the only human-looking person that winds up in prehistoric Earth. So how the hell would humans be around?
See, you're already making this movie way deeper than it is. Like what you just said is better than anything that happens in this movie.
But it seemed alarming to me because the only two people I saw in the movie were him and a very young girl. So the idea that
it's not that at all.
Okay,
there's nothing like that. There's no thought put into it. There's no what happens after this movie. There's nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing. But anyway,
I may still watch it someday.
Oh, don't.
Well, I was thinking about Love Lost and Love Lorne, Love Lost. I was gonna suggest the movie Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock, which is one of my favorite Hitchcocks. I haven't seen them all, but it's one of my favorites. It is my favorite actually, even more than Psycho. And I never see North by Northwest, so I have to watch that soon.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I did pick. So Brian De Palma was one of my favorite directors. Did a lot of interesting movies at the beginning of his career. A lot of them, a lot of people say, were kind of Hitchcock knockoffs. And I don't believe they're knockoffs. I just believe that he liked Hitchcock so much that he thought, what if a similar story went a different way? And so, like, Blowout seems very much like a Hitchcock movie. Dressed to Kill is very much kind of his take on Psycho. And there's Sisters is also kind of one of these. Body Double is sort of one of these a little bit. But the one that I think Raising Cain too also would be a good one. A lot of good De Palma movies. But the one I think would be his answer to the movie Vertigo would be this one. It's called Obsession. And it stars Cliff Robertson, old Uncle Ben himself, when he was a young man. Standard Brian De Palma actor, usually played a villain in almost everything he did. John Lithgow, who's in a lot of these early movies. He's in a lot of them. These early
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, that wasn't a De Palma movie, but yes. So it's about a guy who believes his wife and daughter died on his 10th wedding anniversary, and he becomes sort of forlorn man, missing his family, until a woman shows up in his life, looks exactly like his dead wife, and but claims to not be the same person, which he sends
Cyclops would love that.
Sends him down a rabbit hole of
Is this movie about Cyclops?
No, but it could. I don't want to ruin anything. It's well worth watching and very interesting.
Oh man, Cyclops loves identical copies of his dead wives. Loves them.
It's his thing.
It's totally his thing. That's a very apropos recommendation considering the history of Cyclops. I really like that, Andre. Good job.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do? Want to play a game?
Sure.
What should we play? You already cast somebody as Arkon. Yeah, we already played that game. That was funny. That was a good casting. He looked just like him. Let's do.
I don't even remember who I said it was now.
It's not someone I had ever heard of, but they had like the flat bridge of his nose and it like looked just like his gear. Here we go.
Someone from the TV show I was watching. Oh, I forgot to suggest some other stuff. Shit.
What do you mean?
All right, rewind. What do you
No, rewind. Just, I watched a movie last night on Netflix I highly suggest. It's called They Clone Tyrone. If you haven't seen it,
I heard that's good.
It's very good. It's very, very good. And if you like the movie Sorry to Bother You by Boots Riley, you'll like this one. It's not this is a new director. It's his first movie, but it's really good. John Boyega's in it from Star Wars. Jamie Foxx it plays the hilarious pimp in it. The female actress I recognize, but I don't know her name. But there's some cameos from Ossie Davis and Jack Bauer himself there. Kiefer Sutherland makes a little cameo. So it's
Davis must be 100.
He looks pretty old in the movie, but not Ozzie Davis. Or he died. Is it Ozzie Davis? No, he died. I'm thinking of the guy from Jumanji that played the cop. What's his name?
Oh my God,
David Alan Grier. David Alan Grier used to be on In Living Color. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty old in the too, but yes. So actually, I would suggest that. I also want to suggest Good Omens season 2 on Prime, which I just finished, which is very, very good. If you like Neil Gaiman and the book that he and Terry Pratchett did, and the subsequent adaptation was season 1. Season 2 will not disappoint. It feels like a worthy successor to the first one. It's really good. The other thing is the new season of Black Mirror. I'm on episode 3, I think, of the new season. They've all been great so far. The second one is particularly disturbing. Check it out.
XQ and Ryan agrees. Very disappointed in 65.
I saw when he posted that earlier.
Murphy says an X-Men Quest for Fire connection.
Could be.
All right. Is there? Did we say it? Anyway.
I'm sure.
We did.
Sure, Apocalypse was wandering around somewhere in there.
It's a good thing you rewound, because I forgot my segment. That's very sad.
Perhaps you better take over from here.
Well, I'm probably late to the party on this one. I guess it's not a party, more of a funeral. But Sinead O'Connor died.
Sure did.
I love her reggae album, believe it or not. Throw Down Your Arms.
I can just imagine whatever you like when you pick an artist or any kind of a person, you look for the most obscure thing they did, and you probably do a deep dive on it. Is this just like a thing you do? I don't mean it to sound bad because I like it. I think it's cool. But
no,
like, if nobody's talking about Sinead O'Connor's reggae album.
Yeah, but that's because I love reggae.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
An hour of reggae every day. So if I know of anyone who has a reggae
that was a
album.
poem.
So it wasn't like me going, I wonder what's the most obscure Sinead thing I can listen to. It's just like, what? Sinead does a reggae album with like.
Do you have Tim Curry's reggae album?
No.
Oh, look it up.
Okay,
I have it on vinyl. It's hilarious. It's mostly just his album, but he has some songs that are obviously him trying to do reggae songs. Even sort of an affectation of like a Jamaican accent, sort of. It's like working on my tan.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Murphy. That was gonna be. Oh, Murphy reminded me. That was gonna be one of my X points. Beast is the Quest for Fire connection.
Oh, because George Buzza was in. Yeah, I did hear that on your episode.
Yeah. That is funny. So check out some George Buzza on Quest for Fire, everybody. 1979's Quest for Fire, or 81, maybe it was 81. Yeah, check that out. So check out Sinead O'Connor's "Throw Down Your Arms." Seriously, like she goes over there. She's like Bob Marley's bass players playing bass on that album. Like it's legit, and she like remakes a lot of or covers a lot of great classic reggae.
She has a song from like the 2000s somewhere, maybe it's the late or early 2000s called "Your Green Jacket," which is an excellent song, and nobody really knows this one of hers. It was long after she'd fallen in the public spotlight for a stupid fucking reason, by the way. It pisses me off. She tore up a stupid picture of the Pope on SNL. Everyone,
yeah, I know she did. Yeah.
For a good reason.
Yeah, very good reason.
Yeah,
I would have done it too.
So the song came out in 2014, but it's a great song, and I suggest you just listen to it. If you only know her from "Nothing Compares to You," which was originally a Prince song, there's a lot of other great music out there from her, so check it out. They haven't announced what killed her yet, have they? It seems like it's suicide, but they haven't really brought that out.
Guess.
Yeah,
so it's like 12 songs. You can get a double disc where there's the same 12 songs again, but like dub style.
No, I'm sure it's on Apple Music.
For the original, but like they do "Emas Gone" on it. She does like that's a great Abyssinian song that Locutor Dave and I play all the time. "Vampire" by Peter Tosh, he does on there. "Down Presser Man."
Wake up! You are having one of your delusions.
I'm not. I'm talking about reggae. Please get out of here, man. Oh yeah, like "John Not Dead." Oh, "He Prayed's a good song. Oh, I gotta go listen to this. "Untold Stories" she does. That's a great one. Go check it out. The one that always gets played off it is her Bob Marley cover "War." It's probably like my least favorite on the album. It just gets played because It's the Bob Marley cover. But check it out. Throw down your arms. You won't be disappointed. Seriously.
All right, I'll check it out.
Bedtime Stories might be the best one on there.
That's lovely. Or
Untold Stories, I should say. That's a great Burn and Spear song. Anyway, I think it's Burn and Spear. Anyway, yeah. So now let's make a mutant, shall we?
No, we haven't this long time.
Yeah, we haven't. So we're gonna come up with a physical trait each, and a mutant power each, and then we shall together come up with a name for this character. Why don't you kick us off with a physical trait?
He's purple.
He's purple. Okay, he's the Purple Man.
Doesn't have to be a man.
No, now because of Purple Man, I'm going to make sure my physical trait is definitely a woman.
Okay.
So it's a purple woman.
Now, born a woman or has become a woman?
We'll say born.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't really matter to the character.
Cisgendered? No, I'm just joking. Sorry.
Presents as a purple woman.
All right. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Back to you for a power.
Freezes time.
Oh my God. Okay. Purple freezes time. Okay. Wow. Freezes time. What's a good thing? Also, heats up time.
Heats up time? What the fuck is that?
You can freeze time. You should be able to heat it up.
It makes no sense.
Well, that's her power.
God, and you're trying sometimes. You're awful hard to love sometimes, Dad.
I hear that a lot over on Live Long and Podcast.
I meant freezes and stops time. Time can stop.
Yes, but I want a very skilled.
Okay, well, you need to describe how they heat time.
No, that's not up to me. Unless we start like writing something with these characters, that's for a great comic writer to make sense out of heats up time. Look, if Wolverine can have hot claws, you can heat up time.
How does Wolverine have hot claws?
You don't know about that? Oh, that was a dumb storyline. Sorry, whoever wrote that. I can't.
He's listening. Cries. Single tear rolls down his eyes.
It's not my favorite run. Let's just say Charles Soule could do it. I don't know. I don't think it was Charles Soule. Yeah. Now when I think he gets angry and his claws heat up, and they turn red. It's awful. It's awful. But they've gotten rid of it. They've gotten rid of that whole thing. But that was a thing for a while. And they said it was because of his healing factor. Due to his healing factor, his claws heat up. Oh my God, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it sounds dumb.
So now we have to name that character. Did he say eats time?
Eats time's not bad.
Office manager asked me if eats time. No, heats up time.
Actually,
yeah. See, Murphy gets it. That's why we're co-hosts over on Hold Up. Every ticking second increases the temperature, of course, or a second, or because it's her power, it can be every minute heats up the temperature, or every day. You know, it's a good power. Now we need to name this great character. You shut your mouth, Murphy.
Warmer freezes time.
And heats it up. And she's purple.
Yeah, I think that's incidental. I don't think that'll play into whatever you call her. Freeze frame.
I like it. Or hot streak.
How did you have time? It's so stupid to have it. It's so
awesome.
Stupid.
What?
It's so stupid.
I come up with the best powers, like when you're like, this guy's like, people are attracted to him, and I'm like,
it's
yeah,
not
but
practical.
not at night.
It sounds cool on paper, but you can't even explain what it is.
Murphy just did. Every second increases. You know, I think that's pretty good. We'll leave that one out to the X-Goons. I think we tied a nice little bow around that one.
Okay.
Right, X-Goons? Help me out here. Back me up. Do we have anything to party like it's 97? I don't think we have any new news, really. There's been some posts, but it's mostly stuff. We even got mentioned again. They didn't mention us by name, but they mentioned our scoop.
Oh, and a new one about the Lawrence Bane thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're still
Didn't mention
making
this
the
by name.
rounds,
That's
okay.
a jerk. Come on. It's our, we got it.
Bit of a jerk move, and somebody else they were talking about got mentioned by name too, and we were just kind of thrown in at the end.
Well, is that Bleeding Cool?
We're the mutants of the podcast world. We'll all forever be outcasts, Andre.
Was that on Bleeding Cool?
Persecuted. What?
Was that on Bleeding Cool?
No.
Okay.
It was like on the Twitters or whatever they call it now.
Oh, okay. It's called X now for some stupid reason.
Because, man.
Elon Musk thinks X are cool.
He's a 8-year-old in his head, I swear to God. And not in a good way. I love 8-year-olds and everything. But like,
not ones that run that are multi-billionaires.
No, you don't want multi-billionaires. Richie Rich was okay, I guess. Was he? I can't remember much about Richie Rich except for the Macaulay Culkin version. All right, well, I guess that's us for tonight, pretty much. Let's get some homework from Professor my ex here. That's what I call you now.
Well, your homework is to watch what I'm sure is going to be a delightful episode called The Fifth Horseman, which we see the return of who we thought is gone, but is not, Apocalypse, which he is trapped in the astral plane and needs a host body to return to Earth. Whose body do you think that is? Tune in to find out. Watch the episode.
I know, just based on the image I saw. But we'll have David Cutler, friend of the show, fine artist, who's Iron Man annual, Iron Man versus Storm's coming out this week. Get that, X fans. We all know how that's gonna go. And if not,
Daffy Boy,
show up here for when I have to have a little sit down talk to Dave Cutler about it.
Oh, well, I don't think he has any say in who wins. He draws it. He doesn't write it.
Oh, he has all the power. It's his pen.
Good point.
Good point. Yeah. Or, the kids don't use pens these days, do they?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they use styluses. You have to have a stylus. You can support the show at patreon.com/XMen Review Show, where you can get lots of sweet merch. We got X-rated thin hoodies. I don't know how thin they are, actually, but we got X-rated hoodies. We got X-rated long sleeve shirts. We got Magneto was right red t-shirts. We got Xavier was right blue t-shirts. We got the classic "This One's For You" morph. And, of course, you can get X-rated stickers and an X-rated, or "This One's For You" morph mug on there as well. So, lots of merch if you want to donate to the show. More than half of your donation goes to your own merch, and the rest goes to us because you appreciate our show here. And I think I can, we have enough merch now where I can probably line up a yearly subscription thing, and so you don't have to keep quitting every 3 months for a different piece of merch. So I'm working on it, X-Goons, trying to make it easier. Look at that. Ryan's going to get on the new shirts.
Goddamn right, yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Send us a picture of you wearing them.
Be cool like Ryan and Jaemeel and Daniel. Those are 3 very cool cats that you could be like and get yourself some sweet merch. We're a member of a United Federation of Podcasts. Oh, wait. Did you know that, Andre? You can also contact us. xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. And please like, review, and subscribe. But yes, we are a proud member of this United Federation of Podcasts, where we have Hold Up, a movie podcast, which we've talked about a few times this episode. Get the rest of the episode in, Andre. It gets spicy. It's real spicy.
Let's finish it up by actually, I think I did finish. Oh yeah, I'm almost done the Savage Love podcast from this week, and then you're next. I got halfway through yours, but it's so long that I sometimes, if a new one comes out at once, I listen to, I'll put it in the middle.
Murphy knows how to push my buttons, and he pushes a few.
Yeah, you guys are pretty good at pushing each other. You guys are pretty good at pushing each other's buttons. Sometimes you pick a fight with him that seems incredibly unwarranted, but sometimes he gets irrationally angry at something you say. So either way, it makes for fun listening for sure.
I think that's.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to bring up in my movie recommendation.
Okay.
William Friedkin died last week. So
oh yeah,
And he's a fantastic filmmaker, not just for The Exorcist. I highly suggest you check out The Exorcist if you haven't seen it. Definitely check To Live and Die in L.A. is a fantastic film. You should also check out a Sorcerer, which I feel like is one a lot of people slept on, which is a remake of the French film Wages of Fear.
That wasn't the one with Nick Cage in it, was it?
No.
Okay.
It's got the guy that played Brody in Jaws in it, and Roy Schneider. And it's about a group of felons that are driving a truck full of nitroglycerin across the mountains of Africa. I think it's somewhere to make a bunch of money. So it's a dark film. I mean, Crazy Joe is stupid good. He's done a lot of interesting movies. You should check out. So not Crazy Joe, it's something Joe with Matthew McConaughey. But his movies are always interesting and different, so check those out.
I think I can pick a fight with you too, and not just Murphy. So you know what, Andre? I'm calling bullshit on your comment about me like going after weird music, because you always talk about the weirdest movies ever, and you have never seen The Godfather. It's like I don't need to watch The Godfather. I can watch this weird like subtitled Italian movie that's like 45 minutes long and like all in a red theme.
Well, I've never said that sentence, and I don't believe that, so don't put that word in my mouth. I will watch it someday. I just haven't got around to it. See, there are certain movies that I always know I will love because everyone loves them, and I kind of wait for a magic moment to watch them, but that moment never really comes. So I really should just go do it. You're right, but
it's a hard moment to come when it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, and then there's 2 more to go after you watch that one. So
you don't need those.
I mean, 2 is supposed to be incredibly good. I've heard 3.
Yeah, some people like it better than the first, but I don't think it is. I think the first is probably the best movie ever. But yeah, so I think we have I think we have similar tastes, but for different things. My musical taste kind of mirrors your movie taste. I think.
I mean, I have some pretty obscure musical tastes as well. But
I would agree. Super Mater Brothers podcast. You won't get better reality show reviews than over there. I'll tell you that much. Where we also have our Mary Mater Marvel Society as well. Where we just did our Secret Invasion review. Did you watch that yet, Andre?
Nope.
Yeah.
Probably after Black Mirror, maybe between a few other things, but.
What they doing up there on the Graphic Histories podcast?
Bit of a break just because I couldn't get anybody before I went on my vacation. So because of that, there was I could get some people, but nobody's schedules lined up. So next episode will be not this. It'll be recorded this Monday and then drops the following Monday. So it's
who we got?
David Hahn, who is a artist for Marvel DC, a lot of indie books. He did the Batman 66, I think, meets the Avenger, the Stephen Peele miniseries, for other things like that. Really cool cartoonist, does some beautiful art. Check him out.
Definitely
David Hahn.
And check out the Graphic Histories podcast.
That's right. A lot of fun. We got a lot of episodes. We're 103 or 4 now. Most of the interview ones is probably about 50 of them now. So maybe a bit more. So check those out. Yeah, enjoy the show. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah. Andre, could you take 3 seconds and just tell Murphy Gremlins is a great movie?
It's a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too. It's like a top 5 movie for me. See, you see what I have to put up with, Andre?
Everybody's tastes are different, but Gremlins is a fantastic movie.
I know.
Gremlins 2 is fantastic as well.
Ex-Goon Ryan loves Han's work as well.
Oh, so that's tune into the episode, Ryan.
Yeah, check out the Graphic Histories podcast. It's good stuff. And of course, we have Live Long and podcasts where we have a myriad of Star Trek content. And look, there's exciting stuff happening over there. I'll tell you, I'm pretty excited about the next few months over at Live Long and podcast. I get an interview coming up with the writer of the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko, my favorite character in all of literature. And this guy's writing his autobiography, and I can't wait to talk to him. Derek Tyler Attico. Check that out. What else we got going on? Oh, I'm planning the Cuters of Trek Season 2. We're switching gears on that. We're going to have a special guest on to raise the discussions up. try to have an actual expert, so it's not just me and Locutor Dave playing experts of the week. Though we do it well. We're going to have real experts on, and it's going to be a fun time. And there's also Trivial Debates. We have Eamon on Track. They just reviewed, what is it? The band, Last Waltz. So check that out. And there's also the Hellbound Podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan. Still on hiatus, but they'll be back. All right. I think that's everything.
Cool.
Anything to add?
No. Enjoy your week.
Well,
enjoy your summer.
We just catch you X time.
X time.
Stop this madness!
All right, we will.
Goodbye.